Hey, welcome back to the Big Rand Show. Thank you for joining me. Big news out of Texas. I brought you that story the other day about Rodney Reed. Rodney Reed has been given an indefinite stay of execution by the Texas Court of Appeals, saying that there's new evidence that may show that the state withheld legitimate information that could have pointed to Rodney Reed's innocence during trial, had given false information and evidence at trial, and very likely had people perjuring themselves on the stand in an attempt to convict Rodney Reed of a crime that he possibly did not commit. But the state board of court of appeals has sent it to back to the trial courts, and it looks like Rodney Reed will have a stay of execution at least pending the hearing of the lower court. Now, we went through this the other day in the video I uploaded the other day about Rodney Reed. Now, the attorney for Jimmy Finnell says that this is a travesty, saying that this guy is wrong, was rightly convicted, which he would say because he wants to keep all the heat off of his client, Jimmy Finnell. But the fact is, a lot of evidence points to Jimmy Finnell. Since I made you that video the other day, I've done a lot of video watching, a lot of evidence looking, and a lot of reading on the Rodney Reed case. And forensics experts have said that she wasn't killed out there on that highway in the ditch where she was found. In fact, she was more likely killed at home and then dumped by somebody. Most likely Jimmy Finnell, because his timeline of where he was doesn't add up. Because first he said he was gone to a bar when she died, and the other time he said he was at home at a certain time with her after when he had been at the bar. And then it turns out, when you look at the time of death, because of the falsified information from before, or the error by the coroner, where the coroner admitted later that the time of death was different, that new time of death was exactly the time that Jimmy Finnell said he was at home with Stacey Stites. The forensics experts said that they believed she was killed in the bathtub area because apparently there was some kind of, water in her lungs or whatever, and that she was suffocated, of course. But the lividity of the body, of course, that's where the blood pools after somebody dies, was on the front upper portion of the body. And if she'd been killed on her back, or killed and then put on her back right away, like the police and everybody was claiming, then she would have had lividity on her back, not on her upper torso, on the front. And there's a lot of other evidence out there, from Jimmy Finnell admitting it, saying that he had to kill his inward loving girlfriend because she cheated on him. And Jimmy Finnell was later convicted of rape and kidnapping. And people are like, well, what about Rodney Reed's past? Well, you know what? I don't know a lot about Rodney Reed's past. I do know that he was charged with a rape at one point, but he was found not guilty. He was acquitted of that charge. He hasn't been charged with the other rapes that people have claimed have been around. There's a claim that there were 2 rapes that went unsolved, and because they couldn't identify their attacker. They say they found his DNA on these women. But he was never charged. So we won't know whether or not those are legit charges, or if he had just had consensual sex with those women or not. We know there are a lot of things, like the mother of his children, or something, a girlfriend or something. I think it was his mother, a mother, called and had the police try to charge him with something messing around with children. But guess what? The mother took that story off, took it out. She got rid of those charges. She dropped them almost immediately. She was just trying to get back at him, from what I've read, for something he had done. So we don't know the full history. I don't know the full history of Rodney Reed. But at the end of the day, I do not believe the possible allegations against him in the past have anything to do with whether or not he's being railroaded in this case. I believe it is good that the Texas State Court of Appeals decided that they would look at this and that they're going to go ahead and give a hearing to see if they were withholding evidence or if there was false evidence given at the trial. Rodney Reed, I hope that you're able to get out of prison. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm glad you got this stay and that you were not going to be put to death next week. Anyhow, this has been The Big Ranch Show. I've been your host, Jacob Keck. If there's any new information on Rodney Reed, I will let you know. Let me know in the description down below what you think about this case, whether or not you think the state was right in the first place, or if you think they railroaded Rodney Reed into a murder conviction that he did not commit. As well, I'll let you know if there's anything that comes up with Jimmy Finnell as well. Whenever I have any more information, you'll find it right here on The Big Ranch Show, and I'll see you down the road.